35,000, the biggest crowd in the history of the MAC, may show up here today. What kind of an effect will that have crowd noise-wise if you're Central Michigan?
Well, let's talk Western Michigan first, because I think if you have an advantage, it's the 12th man on the football field. And, of course, if you've got 30,000 delirious football fans yelling for you, you kind of intimidate the visitors. And, of course, Central Michigan is a veteran football team as well as a talented one. I think Herb Duromedy is going to have to do all he can to keep these young men stable at the outset of this football game, because it's going to be bedlam here.
Coach Duromedy certainly has had the key ingredient to winning against Western Michigan. In his last 11 tries, he is 9-1-1.
On the team, deep to receive this football, Alan Boyko, and of course the freshman sensation, Ulrich King.
Ulrich King, a player that you're going to see plenty of before it is all said and done here this afternoon. There's a good look at the official crew, and they'll have their work cut out because there'll be some footballs being thrown around here this afternoon. The MAC Sports Channel Game of the Week, live. A little bit of a breeze. King can't quite handle it, and so Western Michigan will start first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Pretty good offensive line. Thomas Eastman, Miller, Brotebeck, Walker, and, of course, an outstanding tight end in Bruce Boyko. And a look at the skill people for the Broncos. His brother Allen will play at the split end. Flanker Ulrich King, we've mentioned him. Brad Tales, an outstanding freshman quarterback. And there you see a pretty good running crew as well. Only one running back utilized by Western Michigan, though, Reggie Ruck. A little different look.
They want to spread the piece so I would get the defense spread across the field and try to hit those zones.
Tales 66 for 152 on the season throwing the football, and comes up and calls an audible on the very first play. Didn't take long to go to the air. The wind blowing it around, but Boyko comes up with a reception across the 45.
This is a flood pattern. They send Coakley down the middle and Boyko right behind him. Boyko makes the great catch with his back to the defense, and that's David Johnson, number 16, along with Ken Strong making the stop. Good start, though, for Brad Tales. You've got to get that confidence early.
Section number 10 on the season for Boyko. There goes the pitch to Michael Green, the tailback, who gets outside of the defense, and he's into Central Michigan playing area for the first time this afternoon.
Now, Al Moldy, Kenny, would have been my kind of coach because he throws first and runs second.
The defensive line, McCaney, Collecta, and also Warenga. Three pretty talented guys up front. Leading linebacker Rich Curtis. He's the top tackler. Clarence Rose, a good one, and so is Mark Dennis on the outside. And four juniors in the secondary, all very capable secondary performers for Herb Duromedy. Second down and 3. Broncos off to a very quick start. Green again off right tackle. This time has to cut it back up inside. And Green will not give up until he gets the first down.
Well, see, Green is a big-time player. Last year, junior college All-America. They were looking for his return. He's been injured. But what Western does, as you see here, is they spread everybody across the field. The defense doesn't have the kind of coordination that comes with being close to each other, being able to talk to each other. And that is a real advantage for the Broncos.
This time it's Boyko and Ulrich King split out wide to the left. Alan Boyko in the slot. Play action. Tales over the middle with it. This one taps around and nearly coming up with the interception, David Johnson.
James Cooper right in there making that play, number 22. And this is what we talked about as far as making decisions from Tales. Now, Tales has an opportunity to hit Ulrich King right now, but he passes King up for the deeper throw, and that was thrown right into coverage. Tales is fortunate that he doesn't have that pass intercepted.
We mentioned 14 interceptions thus far on the season for the freshman quarterback. That's tops in the Mid-American Conference. Rolls out to his left. A quick hitter has Bruce Boyko, and he is upended, really clobbered. Initial hit provided there by one of the cornerbacks, Kenny Strong.
Also, Gino Marchetti, number 24, in on that career-ending tackle. Now, that was a good decision by Tales because he came out on the sprint, and he had a receiver right there, and he gave the football to him. And that's the kind of thing that I'm sure Moldy wants Tales to do. Take what the defense gives you.
This time it's Bruce Boyko in the slot right. 3rd down and 3. Opening drive for the Broncos, and the officials step in and call time.
Weston's having a pretty good go right now, and I don't think that Duromedy is happy with the way his defense is playing right now. They're just off balance.
3 receivers to the right. The handoff to Green inside, and second effort may just get him the first down. It looks like he might have enough.
You're right. Second effort. Number 54, Clarence Rose, makes that first pop. Rose is always everywhere for the Chippewas, an outstanding linebacker. In fact, I like this entire linebacking core of the Chippewas. Here again is Green going right in, and you see Curtis with the first hit, number 38, and James Williams, number 15, cleans up.
When you talk about Michael Green, Reggie, a player who is coming off an injury, as we've got an official call here.
Got illegal motion, Denny. We didn't see that.
No, we didn't. So it brings up now 3rd down and 6, an obvious passing situation. To make that point on Green, though, averaging 5.2 yards per carry when he is healthy.
Ideal kind of a back right in the middle of the field in this one-back attack. You've got explosion and quickness.
Drive started on Western Michigan's 20-yard line. On the delay, Green tripped up right at the line of scrimmage, and with a hand in on the tackle, Rich Curtis.
Nice tackle by Rich Curtis, but I want to see who it was that made Green do the dance, because he's the guy actually that caused this tackle. Right here on the left of your screen, can't see the number, but that tackler, the would-be tackler, who was Rich Curtis, sort of made him sidestep it, and good tackle by Rose.
Well, the first big call for Al Moldy. 4th down and 2, and the ball is on the 33. Fans are getting to their feet here. Tales rolling right under pressure, throws it up for grabs. Oh, broken up at the last moment by Kenny Strong on a beautiful defensive play. Boyko was the intended receiver.
Tremendous play by Ken Strong in recovering, because Boyko was out there 5 yards all alone for the touchdown, and a great play.
And over the football, 1st down and 10 from about the 33. Bender rolls left, and this one high and outside, intended for Kenny Ealy. Let's take a look at the offensive line. Hopkins, Kenoy, Vase Newland, Mazureko, and also Wyatt, who is now starting at right tackle. Tailback is Riley, quarterback Jeff Bender, and their 2 split receivers is Ely and Kent. Kent being the position, or I should say the possession receiver for Central Michigan. Brings up 2nd and 10, 11:40 left to go here in the opening quarter. There's the drop play. Riley has some running room. A flag on the play. Riley chased out of bounds across midfield at about the 48.
Well, we told you about number 34. I think they're going to bring this play back. But watch how strong this young man is. He's 5'10", 195 pounds, but you're not going to bring him down with arm tackles. Extremely fine balance right there, as Johnny Riley shows why he's one of the top running backs in the Mid-American Conference.
Now that run of nearly 20 yards erased by the penalty.
Let's not forget something about Jeff Bender. Even though they have an outstanding running attack, he can throw the football too.
No question about that. Coming into this one, he is ranked 2nd in the MAC in total offense. As you take a look at the defensive crew, Mengy and Cruz on the outside are outstanding. Sean Moher, the leading tackler for Western Michigan, and an experienced and talented secondary to go along with that. Tailback, Riley, really smacked hard as he crosses the 25 out to about the 26, and Mengy got a nice hit on him there.
Mengy's going to be getting a lot of nice hits on a lot of people today. At 6'6", they say he runs a 4.5 40. I'd like to see that. He's about 265. Excellent physical specimen.
Maybe it's downwind.
Downhill.
Well, this time it's Ely split out wide to the left, Kent. The flanker to the right. High formation for the Chippewas. 3rd and 17. Going up top for Ely. And he fights the sun, tries to come back from the ball, or to the ball, I should say. Ran right over the top of Scott Bell, and no call there in the secondary.
Scott Bell had pretty good coverage on the play. I thought that pass needed to be thrown with a little more velocity here. Watch Bender, he just lays it up a little too high. The wind now starts to affect the football, drifts the ball back inside. Ely was looking outside.
Winters back to punt from inside his own 15-yard line. Steve Looney. A return for the Broncos. First punt of the afternoon. Good pressure. Beautiful punt. Looney at the 27. One side step goes north and south and is tackled at about the 33. Well, Reggie, both teams have had a chance to run the ball on offense a little bit, get a feel for the defenses. What do you suspect might happen next?
Well, I thought essentially what we saw those first two series were a little bit of sparring going on, testing each other out before they really start to execute their real game plan. And I think for Western, they want to throw the football, keep people wide. And I think at some point, once they get control, or when they think they have control, they're going to start to give the football to Michael Green more often.
Second possession for the Broncos, who snapped an 11-game losing streak to Central Michigan here last year. Counterplay. Green shoulders it out to about the 35-yard line.
One thing you have to remember when you're using that trip right formation where you have three receivers on one side and one running back against these outstanding linebackers from Central Michigan, there's no lead blocker, Denny, so that running back is going to have to work for his yardage a great deal of time on his own.
Second down and 9 for the Broncos. Early stages of quarter number 1. Basking in the sunshine here in Kalamazoo. Three-step drop. Now Tales tries to run it himself. There's a flag in the backfield, and Tales drops right in his tracks at about the 35.
Selecta putting on great pressure. Tales felt someone coming and stepped up in the pocket, and of course the pocket collapsed around him. Good defense by the Chippewa.
And don't forget to stay tuned to Sports Channel for the best of NHL action. Tonight at 8:30, the Chicago Blackhawks face off against the St. Louis Blues. National Hockey League live on Sports Channel. Not available in all areas, so check your local listing. Well, after the penalty, ball now steps back to approximately the 25-yard line, which brings up second down now and 19.
Well, the long yardage formation doesn't affect Western Michigan like it might most football teams, because this is a passing football team, and they're used to getting the football downfield, so they aren't intimidated by long yardage situations.
Broncos currently ranked 4th in the Mid-American Conference in passing, going for nearly 200 yards a game. Takes to the tailback. Tails pressured and dragged down from behind on an excellent defensive play by J.J. Waringa.
Waringa, if you look at him go off the field now, watch him now, come from the right side of your screen, I think it'll be. There he is, beating the block, and then getting Tails down. This Central Michigan defensive team, we've seen them before. They have excellent team speed, and that can be a very big advantage for you when you're playing against a good offensive team like Western Michigan.
Third down and 20 yards to go. First and 10 for the Broncos. Tails looks right, going to throw it in any direction, and it's picked off at about the 38-yard line. And the player stepping up and making the big interception, the second one on the year, is Rick Curtis.
That's what we were talking about at the outset of this football game. A very big key for Western Michigan. Does Tails make the right decision here? Obviously not. You can see there, Rick Curtis is sitting right in that lane. That's an opportunity for the quarterback to get rid of the football or run with it. Here's another look at it, coming right at you. He throws this football right into coverage. He's done that about 3 times already today. It burned him there.
This time he paid the price. His 15th interception on the season, and superb field position for the Chippewas at about the 39. Quick pitch to Riley. Selects the
great
hole.
move.
Turns it up inside and is finally wrapped up at about the 31.
I'm telling you, great running backs don't look at the first tackler. Then they look at the second tackler because he knows he's going to get rid of the first man. Now watch this good move here. Now cut right back inside. See, good cutting ability, good swivel. He's got great hips. He's a fine player.
Second down and 2. An offensive coordinator's dream at this stage. Healy in motion. Tailback Riley again grinds out 4 or 5 more yards down near the 25.
You have the classic matchup in these two football teams. One team wants to throw the heck out of the football, the other team wants to run it. And of course the team that runs effectively knows that it will also consume time on the clock and keep the other guy off the field.
Averaging nearly 4.5 yards per carry thus far on the season is Riley. In the last 3 weeks, he's really exploded. Cuts it back up inside, a gain of about 3 more yards on the play.
When we saw Riley a few weeks ago, he was coming off an injury. And I'd heard about it, and I watched him, and I thought, he's just a step slow to me. But today, I know we're playing on artificial turf, but he's a lot quicker today.
In talking to Herb Duramity yesterday, Reggie, he said that Riley is still not 100% healthy. Trying to shake off ankle and knee and hip pointer problems all season long. Second down play for the Chippewas in scoring position for the first time this afternoon, and it would appear at this point as if Tony Bates jumped offside, the left offensive guard for Central Michigan. Pump fake flare, and play that picks up a couple of yards, not much. Connolly on the reception.
We're talking about Doug Kraus being a part of that excellent defensive line for the Broncos. He was the guy that made the play there. Kraus, 250 pounds, at 6'4", showing excellent agility, getting up the field and getting back to make the pass.
Central Michigan operating with about a 10-mile-an-hour breeze behind him. Kevin Nichols, one of the outstanding place kickers anywhere in the country, would more than likely be in range here if they don't get the first down. Third and 10. The bread and butter man is Riley. Spin move, stacked up, and finally gobbled up. And they're going to give him forward possession to about the 23-yard line.
Mark Nabosny made that play flowing well down the line of scrimmage because it didn't appear that Donnie Riley wanted to go down. We talked about his size, 5'10", 195 pounds, but extremely strong. And now you're going to watch one of the top field goal kickers around do his thing.
Well, basically a 39-yard attempt for Kevin Nichols, who is 11 for 13 on the season. Low snap. Boy, a beautiful job of setting it down, though, and the Chippewas come away with a 3-0 lead.
You talk about a pair of fast hands. Did Todd Winters ever do a very good job there getting that ball down?
Yeah, he had lots of problems, but he did get it down, and it was a 39-yard field goal. We'll take a break now in the action and return after this commercial message.
Foreign substances are being introduced into your body on a daily basis.
Central Michigan first to the board here this afternoon, Reggie Rucker. 6 plays, 17 yards after the interception by Curtis. They would have liked to have had a touchdown, but at least they came away with something.
And there's one thing you'd like to do in this particular situation, playing on the road, big crowd, big game, score first.
Last year they led 14-7 at the end of the first quarter, and it didn't seem to make much difference. Boyko at his goal line. Nobody there to block, and he is trapped at the 15-yard line. And boy, what a heck of a job by the special team.
That was one of those situations where the wedge ran off and left the runner. and at that time, it's duck, look out. Boyko didn't have anywhere to run.
Alan Boyko looked up, saw nothing but unfriendly white jerseys in a crowd.
That must be a nice feeling to have your twin brother playing and starting on the same football team. But I know the parents are very proud of those two young men.
Now they're both ranked in the top 10 all-time receiving here in Western Michigan. Of course, Allen with another year to go. Bruce is a senior. Very productive receiver. Quick pitch. Green tries to hustle outside. The pursuit catches up with him. Maybe a couple of yards on the play. Mike Kapler, the initial tackler.
Green looks to be limping just a little bit. I think it was an ankle that he had problems with earlier. Look at the rushing yards per game for these two ball clubs. Central basically a running team and Western a passing team.
Central's defense, Reggie, ranked number 1 in the conference at stopping the run as well. Not easy to take it up inside against the Chippewas. 5:12 left to go in quarter number 1. 3-0 Central Michigan. Blair passed out. Green gathers it in and gathers the crowd out to about the 23. So not much of a gain on that play.
Gino Marchetti in there again, and we talked about Gino Marchetti and that very famous name that he carries well. Of course, his uncle was the great one, Gino Marchetti, for the Baltimore Colts for so many years, a Hall of Famer.
He knew what to do with the football when he latched onto it.
Yeah.
Scored touchdown.
Started learning that probably about the age of 6 months. That's a fumble.
Ball is loose. It's on the ground. And what are they going to call? They're going to give the football to Central Michigan. Hafler smothered it. And what a big break for the Chippewas.
Great call. No question about it. That's a fumble. Tails. Arm was not in the forward motion. Watch it right of your screen. Warringa coming around the backside. Ball's loose on the ground. Here's another look at it. Now watch the arm. If the quarterback's arm is going forward, this would be an incompleted pass. But as you'll see, no, it isn't. Great call.
So the Chippewas in excellent position right now, and a penalty also tacked on. Personal foul called against the Broncos. Central Michigan sets up shop first and 10 at the 7.
There you saw, once again, evidence of that good team speed that Central Michigan has defensively.
4:24 left to go here in quarter number 1. Central Michigan leads 3-0. And they're trying to add more right now with a 1st and 10, 1st and goal to go from about the 7.5. Bender sprints out, whistles it into the end zone, and Ely was hoping for some kind of a call. Didn't get much, and it's incomplete.
That's a good decision by Bender because he didn't get caught with that football, and he got rid of it so that he didn't lose any yardage. One thing I wanted to say about the defensive line of Central Michigan, when you're playing against alley-who people like Sminge and Cruz and Crouch, I think it lifts your level of play because you know you're on the field with top quality people, and you want to show those guys that you're good too.
Second down play. On the draw, Riley jukes inside. Does he have enough? Dives into the end zone. What a beautiful run for Riley, who scores the first touchdown again this year for the Chippewas.
Now, he gets great blocking at the point of attack because his offensive line is an extraordinary one. But you can't teach what Riley has, and what he has is a great gift for keeping his feet moving and selecting holes and doing it instinctively. Now watch this. If you watch the lower part of his body, you'll see all the cuts. You'll see the action taking place with his legs as they move instinctively to open areas. And another thing, he's always going forward.
Nichols on to provide the extra point, and so the Chippewas now lead 10-0, and of course all 10 points coming as a result of a pair of turnovers.
And this team apparently was primed to play. Now, of course, we're still in the first quarter. There's a lot of action still to go yet. But I think if you're Central Michigan and Herb Durante, you're very happy with the way your football team has started because, one, your defense is playing well, and two, your best player, Donnie Riley, you just saw him score there, is off to a great start.
17th career touchdown for number 34, who over the last 3 weeks has really come out of the shell, and if he continues to perform like this, Central's going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, because one thing, they control the clock, and they control the game, and you can't get your offense on the field, and Tails has already thrown 1 interception, and he's had a fumble. He's probably a little bit gun-shy back there at this point in time.
Well, there's nothing like starting your drive at the 7-yard line. Only took them 10 seconds, a couple of plays to score. And Central Michigan, 2-1 in the MAC right now, is looking pretty good in the early stage for this one.
You probably ought to point this out, too, because I think this win is affecting the passing game of Western Michigan a little bit more than you might think. This is a pretty good burst of wind going with the football right now, and I doubt if they'll get a chance to return this.
About the 1, and he's going to bring it out and give it a try. To the 15, out past the 20 into about the 22-yard line.
And you know, Boyko was telling him to stay in the end zone, and he brought that thing out anyway, and he almost broke it all the way for a touchdown.
Well, the Broncos will start 1st and 10 from their 22, and other than the first play of the game when Tales hit Bruce Boyko with about a 25-yard pass, the offense hasn't been able to generate much.
Well, freshmen are susceptible to what happens around them, and Tales is not having good things happen right now for him. So let's see if they don't start to do some real surefire plays that will take him off the hook right now.
Green off left tackle, tripped up at the perimeter, but still picked up a nice gain on the play. Todd Reynolds in on the tackle.
Came out here, and Central has had the benefit of outstanding defensive position on the field. And Western hasn't had an opportunity to really open its offense up with good field position.
Don Easton, the starting left guard for Western Michigan, down for a moment or so, but going to get back up and walk off the field. And we've got an update now from the sidelines with our Michael Ray guy.
You know, Denny and Reg, you're talking about the freshman Brad Tales. They say up in the press box here before the football game at Western Michigan, he has never seen a pass he didn't like, meaning that he'll throw the football anytime, anywhere. But you wonder if his confidence has been shaken a little bit with the problems he's had. We'll keep an eye on him, see maybe if Al Moldy goes to his backup, Daryl Fortenberry. Back upstairs, you guys.
Well, you live and die with the freshmen. I mentioned sometimes they make great plays, other times you just scratch your head.
Well, right now, I think Moldy is really concerned about his field position. He hasn't had good field position. Tales has had some problems. So he really doesn't want to put the football out there so that he can turn it over to the Chippewas again.
And we have another injured player down on the field. This one for Central Michigan.
Todd Reynolds.
Officials are called for a timeout. With 3:32 left to go here in the opening quarter. Central Michigan leading in this one, 10-0. Courtesy of a 39-yard field goal provided by Kevin Nichols. And then a 7-yard touchdown run by Donnie Riley. Don't forget Sports Channel's Pro Boxing Tour comes to you from Corpus Christi, Texas, live at 9 p.m. on Monday, October 16th. The main event will feature Martin Ortega, who is 12-1 with 5 KOs. And he'll, of course, be fighting Roland Gomez, 19-3 with 11 KOs in a scheduled 12-round bantamweight bout. Not available in all areas, so make sure you check your local listings there. Reynolds going to be helped off the field. It looks like a left ankle might be the problem, or perhaps the knee. At career record, there you see 83, 37, and 4. He is now tied at this point in time with Roy Kramer, number 2 on the all-time winningest list. And, of course, 91 victories is tops, and it won't take Coach Karamity much longer to get to that stage.
People like that bring credibility to your program, not only in what you do on the field, but in terms of attracting top-quality high school athletes to your program.
Central Michigan has churned out some tremendous professional prospects through the years under Coach Karamity. 3rd down and 3 for the Broncos, trying to get themselves a first down. Delay to Green, nowhere to go, stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and the entire defensive unit getting credit for the tackle.
See, Al Moldy has become very concerned with the way Tales is playing, particularly deep in this end of the field. They have gone very conservative. That is not the way they want to play. Here it is again, a draw play, and you'll see left of the screen. There's just anywhere to go, as Waringa, number 93, does an excellent job of neutralizing that block and just stopping that runner right there at the line of scrimmage.
Tom Dunn back to punt for Western Michigan for the first time this afternoon. L.J. Muddy back deep in single safety for the Chippewas. Line trying to kick into the wind. And it takes a Western bounce. And will finally be down because the wind never stops blowing at about the 32-yard line. So it wasn't pretty, but it was effective. And we've also got another update now. Michael Regai.
Denny, Don Eastman, the starting offensive guard for Western Michigan, who missed that last series, has got an ankle. It got a little bit twisted in that last set. He is having it looked at by the Western Michigan medical staff. No determination yet whether he's going to go back. Now, we're going to go over the other sideline when we can and check on Todd Reynolds, who just went down for Central Michigan. Now, injuries starting to hit both ball clubs here in the first quarter.
Well, and ankles, Denny, are tougher to come back on artificial turf than they are on grass.
1st and 10 for the Chippewas. Flanker reverse. Now Kench is going to throw it. He's got Ely wide open. Got him on the numbers. Ely may take it all the way, and he does. Holy cow, 68 yards on the flanker pass to Ely.
You know, and with all the noise, this ought to tell you something about this rivalry, how many people have come over from Central Michigan to root for the Chippewas. There it is again, a straight pass by Kent, who used to be a quarterback in high school, as Ely. Now watch this move by Ely. He veers just a little bit right so he can get more room and then use his speed to outrun everybody. That was Steve Kingsley, who was chasing or had a hand on Ely, and Ely made that real slick move to the outside and then outran everybody.
Well, Mr. Rucker, we were expecting a defensive struggle here this afternoon, but the Chippewas have dipped into the playbook, played some heavy-duty defense, picked up a couple of turnovers. They lead 17-0. There's 2:09 left in the opening quarter.
There's another look at it. Watch Kingsley, and you see Ely veer right just a little bit to pick up a little bit of space so that he can utilize his speed, and he does it as he outruns everybody. And those are excellent plays for an aggressive rushing defense like Western Michigan has to utilize the reverse pass. And I'll tell you, the defensive secondary of the Broncos was fooled from day one on that play. They thought it was a reverse.
Second touchdown reception of the season for Kenny Ely. And we have already seen Alan Boyko and Ulrich King stand back to receive kickoffs 3 times now in the last 5 minutes. Well, it'll have to be a come-from-behind victory this afternoon if Western Michigan hopes to come out on top. Last year at the end of the opening quarter, it was 14-7. This is a little different story here. It's 17-0.
And Central's defense is playing just top-notch football defensively.
Well, now you can become a little more conservative defensively and really not give them anything deep. King from the goal line. Hit once at the 15 and dragged down, finally inside the 15-yard line, and a nice defensive play that time by Clarence Rhodes.
Clarence Rhodes is everywhere. We talked about how well he plays at run from scrimmage, and he's also an outstanding member of those kick coverage teams for Central Michigan.
A real shocker thus far in this one.
But you see, look at the field position from Western Michigan once again. They're starting on their own 15. They can't get good kick returns. Central's defense is all over the place. They've got great team speed. Not a good situation right now for the Broncos.
Hale sprints right, makes the throw. Bruce Boyko shoved out of bounds at about the 23-yard line.
I'll tell you something. You cannot get away from the things that you do well. You still must throw the football because that's what they do. That's what they spend most of their time on. So despite the score, despite the troubles they've had so far, they got to just keep pitching that thing until they make a big play.
2nd and 2. Under 2 minutes to play here. Well, that turned out to be a very long first quarter. Counter play to Green. Side step, puts the shoulder down, out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. More than enough for the first down.
And that's going to give Western Michigan enough room to start opening up their offense a little bit, a little breathing room, if you will.
Tails 5th in the NAC in total offense thus far. He's 9th, though, in passing efficiency. The reason why the numbers are down is because of all the interceptions.
Anytime you have twice as many interceptions as you have touchdown passes, you're having some problems.
No. 3-step drop, rifles it, and King comes up with a reception and gets chewed by James Cooper.
What a play by James Cooper, who was sitting in his zone, knew that the receiver was on a short pattern, thought that he could dislodge the ball by making the hit. Watch it now, left of your screen, you'll see the quick pass. And of course the hit by Cooper.
He punished him after he got it.
I used to say, I don't care about you punishing me, I've made the catch now.
That's it. That's the first thing you got to do, right?
No question.
Back to the tailback. Oh, Green got stood up by Clarence Rose, and Rose just stuck his face mask right in the chest.
6 feet tall, 220 pounds, very strong, and likes to lead tackle with that helmet. If you do that, that runner isn't going anywhere.
Well, they say, you know, put that face mask right on the numbers and drive them back, and that was textbook.
As they used to say, you aren't going anywhere without that sheepskin, brother. This case, pigskin.
17-0. Central Michigan on top. Green off right tackle, and I don't think he quite got there. It was third down and about 1, and if Green got half a yard, it was a generous spot.
Chippewa came off the ball right that time with great timing. That ball had hardly been snapped when that defensive front was into that backfield, neutralizing those blockers, and of course, Green had no place to go.
And we have finished up quarter number 1 here in Kalamazoo. We'll now pause for this timeout. Chippewas lead 17-0. We'll be back with more of the MAC Sports Channel Game of the Week right after this timeout.
The Big 8 Gridiron Report, a weekly highlight show this fall on Pro-Am Sports System.
I'm Bob Knoll. My official title is Head of Auto Testing for Consumer Reports magazine, but I really work for you.
And there are over 200 people who work for you at Consumer Reports. We test and report on everything from toothpaste to TV. Right now is a good time to try Consumer Reports because you can get a free trial issue with no strings attached. Here are the details.
Call now for your free trial issue with Consumer Reports, the magazine that gives you all the pros and cons of a product, including price. Call for your free trial issue now, then decide. When the bill arrives, pay it and get 11 more issues, 12 in all, including the annual buying guide issue, for just $18. Or write cancel on the bill and owe nothing. If you do subscribe, you'll also get 2 free gifts. The new Medicine Show, updated and revised, and the 1989 buying guide issue.
So put Consumer Reports to work for you. Call now.
Call now for Consumer Reports.
Call toll-free 1-800-472-3300. That's 1-800-472-3300.
And we're back at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo. Al Mulvey has decided rather than go for it on 4th and 1, he's going to kick it away and play some defense. He'll have the win now. Over end. Money grabs it at the 19. Tries to get to the outside and can't quite get there. Tripped up at about the 24-yard line.
Well, let's see what Mulvey does the next time the Broncos get the football.
Boy, passing yards. Look at Central Michigan. 70 on the ground, 70 in the air.
But that balance, can't beat it. You've got people playing on both sides of the ball. Of course, Western Michigan has balance too, but they're not doing anything with it.
Key statistic in quarter number 1, the 2 turnovers. Riley hit once, twice, spins around, and is punished as he gets to about the 27-yard line. If you're Herb Duramity, you're more or less going to try and run as much as possible right now, wouldn't you think, Reggie?
No question about it. You've got a 17-point lead. You've got the best runner in the conference. You've got probably the best offensive line. Why not keep it on the ground?
Ely split out wide to the right, 10. The flanker to the left. Central Michigan's offense has been extremely efficient thus far in this one, taking advantage of every situation. Oh, a cutback by Riley. Tries to step out of one tackle, and finally all of the pursuit catches up with it.
It's Riley again. This is good defense this time by Western. You're going to see Anthony Strong, number 20. He just wouldn't go for the moves of Donnie Riley and holds on until help comes.
Third down now and 7. Riley on the delay and grabbed by the ankle. Mark Nabosny with a beautiful defensive play, and that'll force the Chippewas to punt the ball away.
Once again, we see the quickness of number 50, Mark Nabosny, who was able to get down the line of scrimmage and track down Donnie Riley.
Winters back inside his 15-yard line to punt, and this time it'll be into about a 10-15 mile-an-hour breeze. Steve Looney back to receive.
That was a good defensive series for Western. They needed that. And let's see what they do when they get the football with the wind at their back.
Heavy rush is on. The pressure was there, and a splendid kick into the wind. Looney with a fair catch at the 31-yard line, and Winters really hung that one up high into the breeze.
I want to see who comes out to play quarterback because Tales has been shaken quite a bit in that first quarter.
Let's see what happens when Tales operates with the wind, though. I think he struggled trying to throw the ball into the headwind there in quarter number 1.
Well, the thing that he needs to do, and it is Tales again, is he needs to just get at it. I mean, they throw the football, so look, don't worry about the score. Don't worry about what you've done. You don't have any control over that anyway. Let's start throwing the football downfield and get on with our game plan.
Which is try and spread out the defense and take advantage of the isolation. Now back from behind one more time. It's J.J. Waringa.
Waringa is quickly developing into the star of the game defensively. He won't let Tales get on track because the best pass defense is a pass rush. And of course, the Chippewas are getting extremely good pressure from the outside in the person of Waringa.
And we'll get to that disclaimer right after this play. $12-11 left to go in quarter number 2. Tales pressured out of the pocket. Directs a little traffic. Now he's got plenty of room if he doesn't get tackled from behind. Sprints out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. Enough for the first down.
Now Tales feels the pressure this time and has good presence on the field. Now he knows he better get out of there. Kevin Rich, number 94, is tracking him down. Now watch the high step right there. Gets out of that tackle, gets out of bounds like a smart quarterback should.
Well, that's a positive approach to trying to pick up a first down. At 6'4" and over 200 pounds, the big fella turned on the speed. Better field position. Tales now with a little outlet pass to Green. Green gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. It'll bring up second down and 10.
What this football team needs right now is a shot in the arm. And what they need is a big play. They need to get one of those Boyko or King, one of the big play people, into a situation which he gets the football in the open and is able to break something to get this football team on the scoreboard and back in the football game.
Well, it's a team that normally likes to make big plays, and they haven't been able to do much of that this afternoon. Credit Central's defense. Tales looking for an open receiver, and he had him in Alan Boyko. Boyko had it, lost it, and got drilled in the process.
Boyko is a sure-handed receiver, and that's a pass that he should catch 10 times out of 10. A good setup by Tales. Delivers the ball. Now watch it right of your screen. Just didn't hold it.
David Johnson providing the leather on the hit. Third down and 10. Numbers a little deceiving thus far for Tales, who really has not been effective. Of course, the field position hasn't been the greatest for Western Michigan. Chippewas are coming. Tales pressured out of the pocket. He breaks the perimeter, though, and he's going to have to run near the first down as he was tackled at about the 44, and that's going to be within the length of a football for a first down.
And Lavelle Van Horn threw an exceptional block coming back. Good hit, which allowed Tales to get down that sideline. I don't know if we'll see it here, but watch this as Lavelle Van Horn comes out of nowhere just takes, I think it's James, watch number 3. Boom, right there. You can't see it, but that was the block that sprung Tails down the sideline. Their receivers get downfield, Denny, and running patterns, and you have to look to keep your head in the game, see what's going on. Come back and help your quarterback.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the Mid-American Conference and Sports Channel Ohio. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or any other use of this telecast without the prior written consent of the Mid-American Conference and Sports Channel Ohio is strictly prohibited. First down and 10. And Tails, who normally does it through the air, has sparked his team on the ground.
It isn't pretty right now for Western, but they're getting it done. They're moving the football somehow. That's all that matters. Just start moving.
Ball trip over here. 17-0 in case you just joined us. Central Michigan on top. Ball is on the ground. And a Western bounce that ends up back being covered by Tails. Very fortunate indeed. That could have been turnover number 3.
That was Jason Wilkie who jumped offside. It was essentially a free play for Western. Green just took his eyes off that football.
So they'll step off to 5 yards. And instead of near disaster, Broncos presented with a first down and 5.
It was a heads-up play by Tails, however, as he saw the football on the carpet and got on it quickly.
It's been the home team that has made the mistake thus far. Central Michigan playing on the road, doing an outstanding job of stopping a high-powered offense. Officials whistle and will hold up play for just a moment. Something down on the field.
The official lost his ball marker. The thing that he throws down when he wants to stop the football, where it was caught out of bounds or something like that.
Crowd on hand, and they've been sitting on their hands for the better part of the last 67 minutes. Tails looking to go deep. Batted down at the last moment, and a superb defensive play turned in by Kenny Strong. King was running right underneath that pass.
You saw some speed on this play. I knew it wasn't going to be long before Tails tries to get it all. He's got his fastest man, King, going down the left side, and Ken Strong, watch the speed right there. Great coverage as King was about to catch the ball, and here comes number 5, Kenny Strong, who knocked that ball away.
Kenny Strong, probably the most talented one-on-one coverage guy in Central Michigan secondary, and turned in a beautiful play there. Second down and 5. On the counter play, Green sidesteps and is dragged down at the 36-yard line.
I like that call because he had second down and 5 yards to go. Spread the field, give the football to Green on a draw play. He picks up 4 yards, gives himself an opportunity now to go ahead and pick up the first down.
And let's check in with Michael Reagan down on the sideline.
Denny, I had a chance to talk with the touchdown duo here from Central Michigan. Bobby Kent, who threw the football on the flea flicker, Kenny Ely, who caught it. They told me simply, we've worked on it all week. We knew it was there. Just waiting for the moment to hit it. And boy, did they hit it big. Back to you.
68 yards big and for the touchdown. Green gets to the outside and dragged down. Maybe a face mask call, but no. In on the tackle, James Williams, who just flat horse-collared the big fella.
Michael Green is a quality running back. He's 6 feet tall, 226 pounds, and he can flat out fly. You can see the strength right there. It's hard for them to bring this big guy down with one man, particularly those cornerbacks. And he could be a factor in this ball game if Tails can get this offense going now with the passing game.
Best field position of the first half of play for the Broncos. Green pass. It's tipped up in the air and intercepted. Marchetti with the football down the left sideline, and nobody will catch up with him. A touchdown for Gino Marchetti.
Gino Marchetti, a fellow who a couple of weeks ago had lost his starting position to Mark Dean,
somehow has reclaimed the position. This ball is thrown too high. You can see it's thrown over the head of Michael Green. Marchetti, who's a kick runner, knows what to do with the football when he gets into the open field. He's got two people out in front of him. It looks like an escort by the Chippewas all the way to the end zone. Celebration occurs early.
The field, so apparently Al Moldy's going to go with him regardless of what happens. He's already tossed a couple of interceptions today and has struggled, but he's also the kind of player, Reggie, that I think that could turn it around in a hurry if he hits a couple of plays.
Well, they think very highly of Tales here. He's a young man who could have gone through or had some offers to go to some real big-time colleges, and if they do something here in the next 4 years, Tales will be the guy that takes them there.
He's going up top, and this one is picked off in the secondary by David Johnson. Johnson streaking for the right sidelines and is finally nailed by Ron Williams. But another turnover, the fourth in the first half, and it's come up big for the Chippewa defense.
That's just straight one-on-one coverage. You're going to see David Johnson here just blanketing Ulrich King. A long throw. There's a little bit of contact right there. King falls to the turf. And here comes David Johnson on the return. I think that's 3 interceptions in the first half. Another look at it. That was Lavelle Van Horn, excuse me, Denny, who was the intended receiver.
Back to live action as Riley takes it off left tackle. And now we've got a flag being thrown. Smengi and also Mark Hopkins going at each other a little bit.
Well, Smengi did something that I think is uncharacteristic of a classy player. A little bit out of frustration, I would think.
Well, a pair of offsetting fouls. 9th interception career-wise for David Johnson, who was a second-team All-MAC player a year ago. Chippewas have played brilliantly here in the opening half of football.
Western Michigan defending MAC champions. They played in the California Bowl. This is the MAC winner against the Big West winner annually.
No way in the world you'd have convinced me it would have been 24-0 at this stage. Bender rolls out. It's his receiver. Ball squirts loose. It's on the ground, and it's still rolling around. Central Michigan coughing it up, and Western Michigan with their first break of the afternoon. It appeared to be L.J. Muddy couldn't hang on to the ball.
It appeared to be Scott Bell, number 36, that made the big play. They still don't want to untangle themselves over on the far sideline.
And so at this point in time, after the change of possession, we'll be back with more of the MAC Sports Channel Game of the Week right after this. Tales has been getting into people's hands. Unfortunately, they've been Central Michigan hands. 3 interceptions thus far as Western Michigan goes to the ground for a pickup of about 3 yards. The most lopsided victory for Central Michigan in this series dates back to 1974 when Central Michigan won 42-6. And now they're heading in that direction. Broncos 1-1 in conference play. Michigan now 2-1. Chippewas have won their last 2 in the NAC. Tales with a rifle shot. Out to about the 42-yard line goes Lavelle Van Horn. I'm kind of surprised, Reggie, that they haven't thrown more of the cutting type patterns because they appear to be open.
Yeah, what happens when you get behind by 24 points, there seems to be a sense of urgency. Being a young, inexperienced quarterback, you don't understand that there's still enough time to get back into the football game, but you can't score 24 points on one play. You've got to get the first touchdown.
First down and 10. And the counter play. Bogan out near midfield, and Danny Bogan with some tough running yards. Just kept putting his head down, grinding him out.
Bogan's a big back. As you see right here, 235 pounds just trampling over people. And They know they still have an opportunity in this football game, but they've got to get a good drive going. They all need to pick up some confidence, and more than anything else, they need to secure the football. No fumbles and no interceptions.
Hogan on the pitch, turns it upfield and dives inside to about the 42-yard line. Marchetti in on the tackle.
I think the Chippewas right now will just play it kind of soft. Don't let anybody get deep. Don't let them have anything quick. Keep everything in front of you and play defense that way. Meanwhile, it's going to be up to Western to find a way to get some points and get them fast.
6:37 and the clock rolling here in the second quarter of play. 24-0. Central Michigan trying to blow out Western Michigan. Over the middle. Beautiful catch that time. Turned in at about the 28-yard line as Ronnie Williams went up high and climbed the ladder to bring that one down.
Yeah, Ron Williams makes a nice catch there, and that's what Tails is going to have to get. He's going to have to get some help from his friends. You know, great plays, great catches, great runs. When you're 24 points down, it's going to take an extraordinary effort by everyone to get back into the football game. Ron Williams gives them one there.
I think you make the key point there, Reggie, and that Tails has thrown the ball a couple, 3 times where it should have been caught.
Well, interceptions are reflected by the quarterback. They don't say how they happen.
Hogan off left tackle. Grinds out a few more yards to about the 25, so probably the best sustained drive thus far in the first half by Western.
I think what they have to understand here is that at 24-0, the first thing we have to do is score before half. And when we can get this thing down to a 17-point differential, maybe with an interception, maybe with a run or something in the second half, we get a chance to get back into the game so that in the fourth quarter, we have a chance to win. That's all you can ask for, a chance to win in the fourth quarter.
Second down play from the 25, 2nd and 7. Tails looks left, now throws right as Bruce Boyko. He is chased out of bounds at about the 21-yard line.
The only thing I would do now if I were Western is I would move my people a little faster now, almost into a 2-minute drill, because points are what you need, and you don't need to be walking back to the huddle right now, wasting time. Every second is precious. Get in and out of the huddle quickly. You know you're going to throw the football. Let's do it.
Hogan, the single setback, 3 wide receivers split out to the left. Hogan off tackle. It's pulled down inside the 17-yard line, and that's more than enough for the first down. And Alan Jones in on the stop.
He's a big, strong runner who runs straight up. He has got exceedingly tough legs and shoulders. I mean, he's running right into tacklers and it's acting as if they aren't even affecting him.
Jones that time kind of latched on and just went for a ride.
The other thing we might mention, it's a warm day here. I mean, you know, you're going to have a lot of people if you're going to come back in the football game because you're throwing the football and people are sprinting down the field on every play.
Blitz is on. Tails is tackled at about the 26-yard line, and a marvelous defensive play that time by Mark Dennis, who was just blitzing all the way.
You've got to, that's Tails' fault all the way. I mean, he has to see Dennis. He's got to get rid of the football. He can't take a sack right there. That's the last thing you want to do. Now watch here. Now, see, he's got to have some awareness now. He's looking down the field, and he sees it right now, but he's got to get rid of the football. He's got to react, make a decision quicker than that.
Long second down play. Pressure again. Tails steps up in the pocket. Run to about the 20-yard line where he's finally dragged down by Clarence Rose, who has played all over the football field here in the first half of play.
2 people on this Chippewas defensive unit. Number 54, Clarence Rose, and J.J. Waringa. They have been instrumental in this defensive effort against just an explosive offensive team in Western Michigan.
Third down and 13. And this time it's Van Horn and King. Split out wide to the left. Williams, the flanker, to the right. Boyko is in the slot. Tails with a bolt, pulled in and then dropped. Oh my. Almost a beautiful reception that time for Ulrich King, who had it and was stripped of the ball.
Well, they're calling this a fumble.
Oh my.
They're calling it a fumble. You know, if we watch the replay, we want to determine whether Ulrich King had the football and then touched the ground with one foot in possession of the ball. All right, here's the throw, right of your screen. To me, it appeared that he made the catch, and it was a fumble.
Well, I was going to say, it looked like he had it, but I hesitated. The ball was stripped pretty quickly, but turnover number 5, and it couldn't have come at a worse time for Western. Ball inside the 10-yard line.
There's another look at a better angle. Yeah, that's a fumble. You see, he had already caught the ball and taken a couple of steps.
Riley tries to break through the initial wave out near the 13-yard line. So Central Michigan having it all of their own way here in the first half. The offense has been effective. The defense has taken the football away.
Defense has forced errors, and they have forced at least 3 of them. 2 of them were bad throws. 3 of them were forced errors.
All quiet here on the Western front. Record-breaking crowd. Going to have to wait probably till the second half for the big comeback, if indeed it does happen. Connolly flashes inside and gets stood up at the 15-yard line, but at this point in time, Central's just trying to run a few plays and kick it away.
The thing that Jeff Bender would be telling his players now, deep in his own end, is that, look, fellas, we have a 24-point lead. The half is about to end. We don't want to give this team, Western, anything to get excited about as the half concludes. So, protect the football. Cover that football up with 2 hands. Do not allow them to strip the football.
Third and 2. Riley gets the first down. Boy, oh boy, he's just been an excellent runner over the last 3 weeks.
You know, the other thing that Riley does is he's able to do all of this, all those moves and all the quickness and so forth. He's able to do that in a crouch, and so that he doesn't have a lot for them to hit. I mean, he's very short and he's very powerful, so he has a real compact way of running the football.
Don't have the individual numbers on Riley as of yet, but he needed 55 yards to go over 2,000 in his career. Blitz is on. Riley runs through the tackle. Gets to the corner. Spin moves, 360s, and just about everything else you can think of to get out to the 28.
Let me see where Riley came from. Grand Rapids. We need to go back there and see if there's some more. Watch him here. Watch the move. He's already planning his next move right now. See? That was Anthony Strong, number 20, that got faked out, and there he is, number 20, saying, golly, I just told myself he wasn't going to fix me.
That was that Rucker whirling dervish move that he came up with there.
Oh, I love to set those guys up. Make them look bad.
Until the next time they get you, right? That payback's always tough.
Yeah.
Enough for the first down, though. Central Michigan's now gone basically, Reggie, to just that power football to try and run out the clock.
Well, they know they have a big, strong, veteran offensive line, and with the lead and with Riley, just pound those people up front and let the backs do the rest.
Under a minute to play here in the first half.
You know, if you're an offensive player, receiver, running back, you've already committed to being able to take blows, take punishment, but what you say is, I'm going to do the damage with the football, and I'll give up the hit.
Back it goes to Bender. Going deep. What a catch. Ely went up and came down with a football. Oh, my. Kenny Ely with a beautiful reception.
And this is going to invoke a dual possession rule, but Kenny Ely never gave up on this play. Some receivers may have quit and may have said, oh, heck, they've got me covered. Mr. Flea Flicker, Bender throws this ball perfectly. You're going to see excellent coverage on the left of your screen on Ely, but watch this. Reaches out for the football and great play.
Third reception on the day for Ely. And we'll take a break now in the action with just 20 seconds left to go here. And off to Riley inside, grinds it out to about the 17. And we heard Herb Duramity saying, let the clock run down. We'll call our final timeout. We'll bring on Kevin Nickel. And they do. So with 4 seconds left to go here in the first half, Nickel will try it on. Of course, he'll be trying this field goal into a pretty stiff breeze. He already has a 39-yarder, but it was with the wind in his back. A pro prospect, to say the least. The only, I would say, drawback at this point in time for Nickel is the fact that he doesn't always kick the football into the end zone on the kickoff, which is what the professionals like.
Yeah, but not that big of a deal, because in professional football, usually your punter or someone else has deep kicking abilities, and they use those people to kick the ball off into the end zone. I know the Cleveland Browns do it. Matt Barr doesn't always kick off on kickoff.
24-0. 39-year-old field goal by Nickel, then a 7-yard run by Riley, a 68-yard touchdown reception by Kenny Ely, and then a 66-yard touchdown interception run for Marchetti. It has been all Central Michigan. This one will be spotted at the 25, a 35-yard attempt, and into about a 15-mile-an-hour breeze. On the season, 12 of 14 for Nickel. Plenty of leg, but he misses to the right. So Central Michigan, with an opportunity to add to the lead, comes up empty on the 35-yard field goal attempt. So it's 24-0, and we have Michael Ragui down on the sideline.
With Herb Duromedy, Danny, Herb's dominant offensive performance and defensive in the first half. Did you feel like you wanted to go after Brad Tales coming to this one?
Well, we know we're going to have to contain him because he's a heck of a quarterback, and we've had a very fortunate first half. We're going to have to really play a tough 30 minutes the last part. We know that.
You look a little displeased at missing that field goal here at the end.
Didn't like that part of it. We got to get back and get going.
Okay, Herb. Good luck second half. Herb Duromedy, ball club up 24-0, but yet wanted that final three to end the first half, Denny and Reggie.
Fumble recovery early on.
Yeah, you can see it right there. The arm isn't going forward. Consider the fumble. Turnovers are giving Central Michigan just outstanding field position, and there was the penalty right there, the steering.
Didn't take him long. They went right to Riley here for the short TD run.
Riley, who has been the man right from the very beginning, shows you why he's the best runner in this conference. At least he's the best I've seen.
And then after another turnover, it was the old flea flicker, and Ely, after the Kench pass, just made a tremendous run.
Yeah, beautiful development of the play. The secondary from Western Michigan thinks that it's a run. They all come up, and of course, Ely got behind everyone for touchdown.
And the big play on this one coming in the second quarter, a 66-yard interception return turned in by Gino Marchetti.
See, the ball was thrown high, but it was tipped by Michael Green, and of course, Gino Marchetti, we talked about this before, he runs kickoffs back, so he knows how to run the football once he catches it, and it's a little too late for Western.
Marchetti was basically picking them up and putting them down. One more look, though, at the 68-yard touchdown pass from Kench, as you mentioned, was a former quarterback to Ely.
Yes. Now watch Ely. He makes a great play here. He catches the football, knows he's going to get catched unless he buys some time. Watch him. Then out to the right a little bit, just enough space so that he can pick up his feet and touchdown.
It's amazing how those receivers have the ability to just get enough room to run away. As we look at the numbers after 30 minutes of football, only 5 first downs for Central Michigan, but they haven't needed them. They've scored on the big play.
Well, if you would look at the total yards, you'd say, oh, this is a tight game. Then look 2 lines down, turnovers. 4 for Western Michigan. That kind of giveaway football.
Broncos have had the football nearly 20 minutes, but they haven't been able to do much with it. And point in case, right at the end of the first half, they cough it up on a fumble inside the 5. But he also knows when you play on the road, you got to get every possible point as we start the second half of play. Rush takes it about 5 yards deep back into the end zone, and so Central Michigan will start first down and 10 from their 20. If you're Herb Duromedy, Reggie Rucker, do you go a tad more conservative and really try and keep it on the ground in half number 2?
Well, this is easy for Duromedy because all he does is what he does normally. This is his plan is to run the football, take charge at the line of scrimmage with his offensive line, get the ball to Donnie Riley as much as possible. If they continue to do that, they'll protect their lead. They'll use the time on the clock.
No surprise there. Riley tries to run it up inside. Picks up a couple on the play.
But here's the key for Western Michigan. They must have good first down defense because what they need is the football. And they can't get the football if they allow Central to have good first down runs. So first down is going to be a big down in the second half for the Broncos.
Ralph Newland, Tony Bates, David Bergerecki, Wyatt, and also Fedor on the offensive line for Central Michigan. They've done a heck of a job here. Oh, cutback move that time by Riley, who was then cut down at about the 25-yard line. Looked like there might have been a little more room than that, but the hole closed up in a hurry.
Yeah, because Kevin Thomas, number 47, one of those inside linebackers for Western, was right there, reacting a little quicker than they did in the first half, at least on those two guys.
Big play defensively, I would say, for Western Michigan right here.
And don't be surprised if Central keeps the ball on the ground, draw play or something safe in the flat to Donnie Ryle.
To Riley it goes. The defense up with the play, a gain of about a yard, but Central will have to kick it away, and I would think that Central as well will probably try and just do field position things in the third quarter.
At some point in the second half of the 24-point lead, your opponent no longer is Western Michigan. Your opponent becomes the clock. When that happens, I'm not sure yet. It's up to Duramides to make that decision, but right now, all they need to do is not turn the football over to Western. Football,
momentum type game, though. One big play might turn it all around.
I don't know how he didn't get that kick.
Nearly blocked. Looney calls for the fair catch. An excellent field position at about the 43-yard line. So when we return to Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, the Broncos will take over with 13:10 left to go here in the third quarter. Central pitch the shutout.
The heartbeat of America. Today's Chevrolet is on display now at Coyne Chevrolet of Escanaba. Come on in and talk with someone from Coyne's experienced sales staff. They'll help you find the right car or truck for your lifestyle and budget. With Coyne's professional service backing every sale, you can't go wrong. And while you're there, ask about low financing and big cash rebates on your favorite Chevrolet car or truck. For quality, selection, and price, shop Coyne Chevrolet, Escanaba.
For over 65 years, Anderson Lumber in Rapid River has been the builder's choice for quality lumber and supplies. In today's economy, quality at a fair price is what everyone is looking for. You'll find it at Anderson Lumber, along with a few extras like expert advice and time-proven shortcuts to help you from start to finish. Whether you're putting up a shelf or the house to go around it, we have a complete stock of building materials to meet all your building needs. Quality, selection, and service. It's what our reputation is built on. Anderson Lumber, Rapid River.
Back at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, and the Broncos nearly came up with a play they needed to get the spark.
Eric West, left side of your screen, flies into your picture there. I don't know why he didn't get that. His intercept angle probably was a little too deep. That's Michael Green, number 34. There's that ankle. They're going to miss him.
Bogan is his replacement. First play on offense, and the pitch goes to Bogan. Field block to the outside, but James Williams comes to the perimeter and makes the tackle after about a 2-yard gain.
Guess who made the tackle? Clarence Rose again, number 54. And Weston's going to be caught for holding.
One thing after another for them this afternoon, Reggie. They just haven't been able to do anything the way they want to.
Holding on the offense. First down.
Well, we've got the officials' microphone working now for the second half. Loud and clear.
The thing I thought in the first half that hurt Weston a bit was the blocking of the offensive line. I didn't think they did a very good job protecting tails. A lot of times the quarterback releases the ball early because he feels pressure. That offensive line is going to have to play better in the second half.
On the delay, Bogan hit hard at about the 35 to the 36-yard line. No surprise to see Clarence Rose involved in that tackle.
He is just flowing to the football unimpeded. They've got to get somebody to put a helmet on number 54 on the defense, Rose, because as long as he remains unblocked, they're not going to get anything in the running game. Now, without Michael Green, what they miss is the open field and the breakaway ability. Bogan will give them good inside running, but he isn't the guy that's going to break something, and that's what Weston needs, a long run from scrimmage or a long pass.
Second down and long, 2nd and 17. Tails squares up, makes the throw. Marchetti with another interception. He is tackled at the 39-yard line, and Gino Marchetti with his second pick on the afternoon gives the Chippewas excellent field position.
And I don't know where he was throwing the football because he threw the football right to Gino Marchetti. I mean, he was standing there right in the lane. Tails was looking. All right, let's take a look at it. On the right side of your screen, let's see who he's looking for. was throwing to Eugene Young, but as you could see, Tino Marchetti was right in front of the intended receiver.
Fourth interception on the afternoon for Brad Tales. It's been a disastrous day for him thus far. So Michigan, I guarantee you, will go to that tailback now. Riley cuts to the outside. One man to beat on the perimeter. Riley turns it upfield and is finally spun out of bounds at about the 7-yard line.
Oh, buddy, there's no question about it. The last time we saw Donnie Riley, he was hurting. There was a burst of speed. He literally outran the cutoff angle. Now, the cutoff angle is the position the defender takes so that he can cut the runner off before a touchdown. You can see number 27, Dan Cunningham, just being outrun to the corner, does get an arm around the shoulder to bring down the very talented Johnny Riley.
Riley off for a rest. Darnell Rush checks in, number 25, a talented sophomore tailback. Bender, confused with the last call, decides to use a timeout. So with 11:56 left to go here in quarter number 3, Central Michigan will call for time and set up their offense.
Yes, of course, Central Michigan scores here. If they score 7, I think they'll score something. It'll be extremely difficult for Western to do anything because, one, their defense is the best in the Mid-American Conference. And I think what we're looking at is a team right now in Central Michigan that's playing the finest football perhaps in the MAC and will challenge Eastern for the championship. Those are my picks. Those are my picks.
You heard it here. At this point in time, they lost their first 3 games. 3 tough losses. Yep. And now they're in the process of putting together a 3-game winning streak, and all those 3 games, of course, in the conference.
And you know what's important? To have your team peaking during the Mid-American Conference season, particularly when you're headed into the big ball games. And they've got that game coming up with Eastern. And folks, guess what? We're going to be there. All right.
Mount Pleasant on the 28th of October. Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan. Eastern at home this evening against Liberty College, coached by a man that you play for,
Dan Masigliano.
First and goal to go from the 7. Riley in after the rest. Spin move. Is he going to get there? Oh, my. What an effort. He crosses the plane of the goal line. Riley with a 7-yard touchdown run that was all second effort.
Give him a shirt with an F and a cape. He's playing that well, folks. he can do no wrong here at Waldo Stadium. And I tell you, if you're a football fan, you just have to appreciate this kind of performance, this sort of effort, as Kevin Thomas and Dan Cunningham couldn't do anything with number 34 as he spins and twists. Hey, look at that. Kraus, number 93, weighs 260, carries them all into the end zone.
Extra point flips the upright. Central Michigan, at this point in time, just thrashing the host Western Michigan Broncos. We'll pause now for this timeout.
Let Shoreline Battery of Escanaba charge up your vehicles in time for summer fun with Astra-like batteries carrying a nationwide guarantee. Shoreline Battery is the place for speedy installation and service for alternators and starters, complete with 1-year free replacement warranty and even a free charging system check. Whether it be boating, biking, golfing, or just cruising around town, be sure of a quick start every time. See the experts at Shoreline Battery.
With the toughest, most explosive players in the game. They're all part of your first video cassette, Crunch Course. Just $14.99 plus shipping and handling. The official NFL Films video collection. Here's how to order.
Call now 1-800-872-9100 to get your first video cassette, Crunch Course, at the low introductory price of just $14.99. Or send 1822 to NFL Video Collection, P.O. Box 1880, Department 29, Alexandria, Virginia.
1-0. Central Michigan on top. Johnny Riley with his second 7-yard touchdown run.
So you think all great runs are 60 and 70 yarders. Not so, folks. This is a great run. Breaks 3 or 4 tackles, then carries 4 Broncos into the end zone. Incredible.
Strong play. Touchdown number 2 on the afternoon, the 18th of his career. He's also eclipsed the 100-yard barrier for the 3rd consecutive game. Riley has been a handful here today. He's easily the MVP. Alan Boyko breaks through the initial defense. He's streaking down the sidelines and is finally wrapped up right at the 50-yard line. Alan Jones with the tackle
on Alan Boyko, and they both wear number 17. That's it.
Boyko had to steal this away from his own teammate.
This guy said, hey, let me do something with this. You guys are
You're the blocker. I'm the runner. Give me the football. He knew what to do with it.
Yeah.
Ran out of room. So good field position. And, yes, Brad Tales is still in. All 4 interceptions. You have to say with the guy who brought you to this situation, it's just part of the learning process as a freshman. A quick out pattern, that one goes nowhere. Ulrich King is actually going to be thrown for a loss of a yard on the play.
Boy, things tough for Western. You would think that you'd get that easily because Central's going to be backed off. Well, Central Michigan isn't giving up anything. I mean, you throw a quick pass out there and they're on it.
Marchetti on the tackle. Gino Marchetti has had a field day today. 2 interceptions, 1 run back, 66 yards for a touch.
Possible MAC Defensive Player of the Week candidate.
Riley may be the Offensive Player of the Week. Chippewa is having it all their own way. Tales with a good look. Makes the throw, a diving stab in and out of the fingertips of Ron Williams.
Tales is 6'3", 193 pounds, and he has a great passing arm. Stands in the pocket real tall. There's another look at him. Pretty good protection of the quarterback right there. They weren't getting that in the first half. They're going to need plenty of that in the second half because Central knows Western has to throw.
A character gut check test for the freshman from Windsor, Ontario here this afternoon. It happens to the best of them. There'll be brighter days for him. Waringa chases him out of the pocket. Bogan now on the screen. Gets back to about the 48-yard line, but not nearly enough for the first down.
If there are 2 people that Western is tired of seeing, one, Tales is tired of seeing Waringa, number 93, and of course all Western runners are tired of seeing Clarence Rose, number 54.
Western Michigan has recruited heavily through the years up in Canada, and there you see a number of the players that are playing key roles this season for the Broncos. Central defense tightening up and forcing Western to kick it again. And this one touches into the end zone. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Chippewas of Central Michigan. You know, Reggie, one thing we really haven't pointed out is you look back at last week's performance by the Central Michigan defense. They shut out Kent State for the first time, their first shutout since 1980, and right now they're in the process of trying to duplicate the effort against a pretty good offensive team here.
I think in college football, if you've got these 2 things, you've got almost assured winner. Great defense and a strong running game. Central has both.
It's a proven formula. Herb Duramity winning nearly 70% of his games since taking over the helm at Central Michigan. Of course, a pair of MAC championships. Riley has the great vision, Reggie. Gets up to the line of scrimmage and then determines where the hole is and just kind of slips through there and turns it up to you.
I see the I formation is the ideal formation for a player like Johnny Riley. He's deep. He's about 8 yards back there. He can see the holes along the line of scrimmage. You just don't say, well, you run into this hole. With a guy like Johnny Riley, you get him the ball deep and you let him pick and choose where he wants to go.
And he doesn't need a lot of room.
No, he doesn't. He's got those good moves inside.
Riley feels his way out near the 30 and he coughs it up. Well, the glowing
report isn't perfect, that's all.
On Riley. Now he jumps the track there and gives up the football, and Joel Smengi on the bottom of the stack. Smengi comes up with the football.
All right, watch number 89, Joel Smengi. For the nose for the football, gets in under that. You see him with the red collar around his neck, under the pile, coming up with the football.
Last year, Smengi set a record for forced fumbles. 6 times he grabbed a hold of a running back and stripped the ball loose. This time he pounced on it. Perfect field position. Western needs something on this drive. Hogan runs left, gains maybe 2 yards, and that's about it.
Number 99, Tim Antonidi on that stop on Bogan. Well, I think you need to throw the football, though. I know what they're trying to do at this point in time, but there's no time for all that. You've got to throw plan A away and just throw plan B into action, which is pass, pass, pass. And you've got to do it with hurry-up offense.
9 minutes and the clock rolling in quarter number 3. Central Michigan leading 31-0. Yep. Here's surprise to Zion. Hale runs out of the pocket. Tackled at about the 16-yard line. Going to be enough for the first down.
Here's Tails looking to throw. Great coverage downfield by Central. And he takes off, and he's going to meet up with number 49, Mr. Mark Dennis, an all-MAC choice last year. Another look at it, coming right at you. Here are the moves of Tails. This guy's going to be a fine player. He's going to be one of the outstanding players in this conference in the next few years.
Well, he made a decision there. Didn't see anybody open, so he just ran with it. Pump fake looking in the end zone, and Ulrich King had turned around his defensive back, Kenny Strong, with the ball still behind him.
One thing that I see that Tails does, and I think he'll get better as he plays, is he passes up the first receiver too often as if it's not there. You know, you've got to let the guys have the football when they're expecting it and trust your judgment.
This time it's King and Van Horn split out to the left. Alan Boyko, the flanker, to the right. Draw play, Bogan hit in the backfield, falls forward, and does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Nobody fooled there.
No, that's a stranger. Call that play a stranger because, I mean, that's completely foreign right now to what I think you should be trying to do to get back into the ball game, or at least get some semblance of attacking.
Wild horses couldn't drag him away, Reggie. Give it to the Broncos. Third down play. Tails with time, steps up in the pocket, clears it out, and the pass is caught at about the 6-yard line by Ulrich King. Very close to the first down.
All right, now Tails is in a dilemma here. He doesn't know whether to run this thing. Watch him pull it right there. He says, no, I don't think I can make it if I run. But this is good. Now he drops it off. And that's number 15, James Williams, making the play. First and goal.
Ball spotted just outside the 5, so King picked up the necessary yardage. Now out of the I formation. Boy, hit right at the 5-yard line and just absolutely nowhere to go.
That's almost a bizarre-looking formation for Western Michigan since they are always in a spread. They're always in trip formations or 2 receivers to a side. Here they go to the I formation, close down the split, no running room.
Tony McLean stacked up right at the line of scrimmage, and then they go back to their normal set with just one running back. Running back is Bogan. Second goal to go from the 5. Western trying to avert the shutout. Bogan drilled right at the line of scrimmage, maybe even behind the line of scrimmage. Mike Kapler in with the initial tackle, and he got help from some friends.
The amazing thing about the defense today by Central Michigan is that, you know, they play a 3-man line, and they've been able to put pressure on the passer with the 3-man line as well as cover well downfield.
Western's defense trying to stand up. Hall. Pump fake, crossing pattern. That one batted around inside, and the Chippewas just do not want anybody in their end zone.
Good fundamental defense right there. It's one of the things that the defensive line must do when a quarterback takes a 3-step drop. Watch. 1, 2, 3. Now this means a short pass is coming. Watch. Everybody get your hands up now. Guess who?
Clarence Rose.
Yes.
Actually, that time you could say he had a nose for the football. He got hit right in the side of the head.
Yeah.
Well, Western Michigan calls for time. They don't want to squander this opportunity. 31-0. Central Michigan on top with 6:15 left to go in the third quarter.
One thing I'm very impressed with Central is how well coached they are. They are a very well-coordinated football team. As I said a couple of plays ago, they're able to get pressured with a three-man line and then get good coverage in the secondary, and then linebackers are all over the place.
Nice combination. You're right. The team defensively is one that seems to work pretty well. Well, there you see the chemistry, the conversation between Brad Tales and Al Moldy. And it was funny because after he threw the fourth interception, Reggie, I watched him when he ran off the field. The first person went right up to him was Al Moldy. Didn't say anything. Grabbed him around the shoulder, pulled him close to him, and said, "Hey, relax. You threw an interception. You made a mistake. Let's do better the next time."
Well, Moldy knows that Tales is his man, and he's going to be playing 3 more years here. And I think he knew that this would be a season in which they would have to rebuild. They lost a lot of great players on offense last year.
No question. Only really 3 or 4 starters on both sides of the football total this year for Western. Fourth down play. Tales waits for the clearing pattern, and it's intercepted in the end zone by James Williams. Oh, my goodness. Interception number 5 on the day for that Chippewa secondary.
I want somebody to find out what the interception record is in the Mid-American Conference, because with a long time left, they may reach it.
The celebration continues. We'll pause now for this timeout. And we'll be back momentarily. 6:08 left to go in the third quarter. Central 31 and Western nothing.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Moore, inviting you to join me every Monday night at 6 o'clock right here on Passport for a brand new outdoor adventure series that we call More Outdoors. We bring you more adventure, more excitement, more of everything you want in an outdoor adventure series, and it happens each and every Monday night at 6 o'clock right here on Pass. So join me, Bill Moore, for the Sportsman's Alternative, More Outdoors.
Most people think of me as being a very wise man, but the one thing I know that many people aren't aware of is that the expert medical care at all 22 Shriners hospitals is provided absolutely without cost. The Shriners help children up to age 18 regardless of race, religion, or nationality. How do I know? When I was a kid, I was a patient at a Shriners hospital. For more information, call this toll-free number. I'm Pat Marita.
Central Michigan leading 31-0 with 6:08 left to go in the third quarter of play.
Travel arranged through Continental, which has a new foreign policy offering upgrades and vacation certificates for first and business class international passengers. Call Continental for details.
First and 10 for the Chippewas, who just recorded their 5th interception on the game, and that ties an MAC record set by the Miami Redskins.
Well, we know it ties a central record. Probably close to a record in the MAC conference, too.
Oh, you're saying that it's a central record of 5 interceptions against Miami?
Well, I know it's a Western record, 5 interceptions.
That they have thrown.
Steve Doolittle had 5 against Miami in 1972.
Okay, now that we got that squared away, second down.
I don't want to confuse anybody.
No. We don't want to give anybody credit. Get the wrong information. Riley started to the inside, ran through one would-be tackler, but Smingy finally grabbed a hold of him. You don't run through him very often.
You know, I guess we ought to start talking about the tackle who's playing opposite Smingy, because he's having an outstanding day. We have not talked a great deal about Smingy, and if we listen to what professional people say, he is the guy that's going to be having a lot of money in his pocket this time next year. So somebody's doing an excellent job on it.
John Chinoy, the 290-pound left tackle, and Tony Vace, the 260-pound left guard, have been double-teaming him most of the afternoon and doing an effective job. Bender, down the sideline it goes to Kench. Nice timing pattern that time. First down and 10 for the Chips.
championships haven't had to throw the football much today, but when they have thrown it, it has been usually a big play because you've got so many people from Western up around the line of scrimmage. You see Bender. Kent makes a nice grab. Kent is a tall receiver, 6'3", and he has nice hands, and you know he can throw the football. He threw a touchdown pass in the first half.
Riley on the move to about the 46-yard line. Central Michigan, a team right now that may be playing better than any other club in the Mid-American Conference. After that 0-3 start, they have really come back strong.
I think so, because I think they are perhaps the best talent in the Mid-American Conference. Their team speed is extraordinary, and they've got this guy, number 34, to do the running for them.
Or some would say that Ball State or Eastern Michigan is a better ball club.
Well, don't anybody get mad at me. I'm just telling you what I see.
Boy, we got some great games coming up, though.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the games this year are the to-be-announced games, of course, and we'll be pairing up the key games each week in the conference.
The beauty of that, folks, is we're going to take you where the action is.
Next week, Bowling Green at Eastern Michigan. 12:30 start. Following week, it's up to Mount Pleasant, Eastern Michigan at Central Michigan. Riley on the pitch. Wrapped up at about the 50-yard line. And it'll bring up a 4th down play. There you see the graphic. The 21st at 12:30 Eastern time. Bowling Green at Eastern Michigan. Rynearson Stadium. BG playing much better as of late. They're tangling with Toledo today. And the following week up in Mount Pleasant. Good chance we might be heading to Muncie on the 4th.
And the thing about Bowling Green is they are dangerous because passing teams can do that to you. With Hurd and Thornton, I mean, they can beat anybody on any given day.
Looney waving for the fair catch. Opts not to field this one. And it has been that kind of a day.
Big mistake not to catch the football.
Downing it at the 6-yard line. The Central Michigan special teams. And this has been an absolute green ball game for Herb Duramity, who I don't think coming into this one yesterday after practice felt there was any way it would go this way.
I can't wait to see what Herb has to say at the end of the ball game.
He was,
I think he'll be a little bit more affable.
Yes. He was trying to look for the right word.
His football team, I mean, if you want to use a word to describe it, has been thoroughly dominant today.
Yes. Effective in all facets of the game. I guess guarded would have been the word for him at halftime. Hogan grinds out 3 tough yards, make it 4 out past the 10 to about the 11-yard line. You know, you touched on an interesting point too, Reggie, when talking about Western Michigan, and we developed a story about the freshman quarterback and how he's making mistakes, but there really have been wholesale changes on both sides of the football from a year ago when they did win the Mid-American Conference.
And they did it with offense a year ago. Of course, they had the Mid-American Conference Player of the Year, Tony Kimbrough, and they just literally whipped people on the offensive side of the football. Let me mention this because I think it's very important when you have a freshman quarterback. And Al Moldy should be thinking about this. I don't know if he is or not, but I'd be very concerned about scars on my freshman quarterback psyche about his performance in this ball game, and I probably would keep him out of any further situations where he might throw the football, because you don't know what that's going to do to him for the future.
James Cooper looks like he might have ended up with a cramp in his left leg after the play on the opening running play. He's taken off the field. 2nd down and 6. Over the middle, and Coakley got separated from the football on a major league hit developed by David Johnson.
Beautiful pass, and Coakley ran a pretty nice pattern. Watch, it's going to come right at you. You're going to see the tight spiral on the football. Ball gets there in a hurry. Now, wham! Davis Johnson making the receiver pay the price. Good protection. There's the delivery again. Now watch, right side of your screen. This is what you have to get set for if you're a receiver. You know this is coming. You have to catch the football because you're going to get hit even if you don't catch it.
Hales with a quick drop, throws the out batter. Boyko with a beautiful catch, but it's going to be at least 2 yards shy of the first down. We'll bring on the punting unit now for Western Michigan with 1:30 left to go here in the third quarter. Al Moldy, I think, thought about that for a moment on the fourth down at about 2 and then said, nah, the way things are going today, that'd be crazy.
Well, he can't win this football game. And as I said, I think the thing that they should be doing is just giving the football team an opportunity to do some good things here and get something accomplished because you can't win.
Low driving kick. Muddy takes it at the 45, turns it up, across midfield, down to about the 43-yard line, which is where Central Michigan will start, first down and 10. It's been a frustrating afternoon for the offense of Western Michigan. Defensively, they have done a pretty good job, but it's been the big plays, the turnovers, that's just broken their back.
Well, Central Michigan's been working with a short field all day. And when they have gotten the football via the turnover, they haven't had far to go. But additionally, they have taken those balls, interceptions, and so forth back for touchdowns.
I mentioned that tough game over there in Bowling Green, 14-13. Darnell Rush got to the line of scrimmage, and there was nothing there.
You watch the Central Michigan players when their tailbacks have the football, whether it be Riley or Rush. People are throwing blocks 10, 15 yards down the field, anticipating that one of those runners is going to break something.
Just watch that last play. Number 50, Mark Naboznik for Western Michigan had Tony Bates and Joe Connolly all over him. They were still blocking him 10 yards downfield. On the delay, Darnell Rush gets to the line of scrimmage. What you like to see is a running back who gets in traffic and then covers up with the football as he did that time.
Yes, they have excellent depth at that position, too. And if there's one thing I like to say about the offensive line's work today is that they finish off blocks. They don't just hit a guy and release. They sustain their blocking.
And we finished up the third quarter of play here from Kalamazoo, and we'll pause now for this timeout. 1 quarter to go left here in Kalamazoo, 31-0. Central Michigan looking for their third consecutive win in the Mid-American Conference.
Steel. Muscle. It takes one to perfect the other. And nobody knows that better than Soloplex. Before you take your Soloplex through its workout station, we put it through some of our own. We start with raw materials. Use force and resistance, knowledge and skill, effort and technique to create a strong, balanced, and functional work of art. All of which goes to show the way we build Soloplex is a lot like the way you use it. For a free brochure, call anytime.
Join us for Bob Mann's Solid Golf, an all-new 30-minute television special showing you how to use Bob's golf motor move to increase your drive 30 to 80 yards in 21 days. Don't miss Bob Mann's Solid Golf. It's a solid hit on this channel.
Former National Sportscaster of the Year and also a former Central Michigan Chippewa, Dick Enberg. One more MAC great. And you don't get too much better than Mr. Enberg. I know you've had a chance to work with him as well, Reggie.
Yeah, and Dick, if you're watching, I know you like this.
Yeah, he's got to be loving the fact that the Chippewas are on top. Bender, on a cutting pattern, throws over the head of Kenny Ely on the third down play, so the Chippewas will have to give it up on the opening play here of the fourth quarter.
Might add, if Dick is watching, what do you think about my play-by-play partner, Dick?
Marvelous talented broadcast.
Fine. Oh, yeah. All right, let's take a look at 3 quarters of play.
Western Michigan with 12 first downs, but hasn't done them much good. And with the wind at his back, Winters, I think, is going to wait until time runs out and buy the 5-yard penalty. Amazing how I know that strategy.
Well, it seems to me they ought to be able to do this.
We got dead ball delay on the offense.
You ought to say we want a 5-yarder.
Go ahead,
move it
go
back
ahead, move
5.
it back.
Right.
You know,
Rather than waste 30 seconds.
But I guess we do this for the purists. Just like the purists in baseball say, if you're going to, intentionally walking, send him down the first base. Why waste time? So many things can happen.
But don't you remember that one World Series game between Cincinnati and Boston? When they were going to intentionally walk a guy and he reached out and slapped him for a base hit?
I remember that.
Sure, that's why you do it. Happens once every 48 years, Reggie.
They're coming after this. They've been close on occasion. They may get this.
Here they come. Mooney waits for the fair catch, and Western Michigan starts first down and 10 inside their 10.
That was Eric West, once again, number 35 for Western, who almost got it. I think he's got to take a little sharper angle to the foot. Don't go for where the punter is, but go for where he will be.
When you look back on this one, if memory serves me correctly, Central Michigan was just one dropped football and a fumble today. Other than that, they really haven't done anything wrong.
No, they played outstanding football. And they never let Western into the football game at the outset. That was a key.
That didn't take long. Started with a quick Kevin Nickel field goal, and then about 2 minutes later, they had their first touchdown after a turnover. Off-tackle play goes for maybe a gain of a half a yard. Don't forget to stay tuned to Sports Channel following today's game for more MAC action as the Bobcats of Ohio University take on the Redskins of Miami. That one down there in Oxford. Of course, this game is not available in all areas, so you'll have to consult your local listing. No, really, no gain on the play, so it brings up second down at about 10. Into the slot, Coakley had it and dropped it, just didn't concentrate on the ball as it came to his hand.
It appears to me that Central Michigan has caught more tails and passes than the Broncos have. And he's thrown, that's got to be 5, at least 5 or 6 passes today that people are dropping.
How about this for a stat? Central Michigan, through 5 games, Reggie, coming into this one, had intercepted 4 balls. Today they doubled the total. Big day for the defense. Tails, plenty of time in the pocket, throws it high. King hits it, and he's down with it himself. First and 10 at about the 31.
Good recovery by Ulrich King. For a moment, I thought that there would be another interception. And watch right in the middle of the screen, you're going to see number 2 run a nice pattern, come right behind the linebacker. Good lead into the vacated area by Tails, and Ulrich King just stayed with that football and comes up with a big reception, gets them out of the hole.
If you're a Western Michigan fan, you're hoping for some kind of a drive and score some points so that you don't get shut out here this afternoon. Movement along the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage.
Scott Thomas, number 60. The defender did not make contact. So number 60, Scott Thomas, has to stay in that 2-point stance. You cannot get up out of that stance.
Oh, we got dead ball offside over here. Dead ball illegal procedure over here. They offset.
And that's a rare one when they do that.
Down.
two guys doing something illegal at the same time.
Both got caught. Still first down and 10. Perfect afternoon. 75, 80 degrees. Little breeze. Breeze starting to turn here in Kalamazoo. Hales with all day to look for a receiver. And then he ends up throwing into the hands of David Johnson with another interception. Johnson turning back upfield. Somebody better come up and tackle him or he'll take this one for a touchdown. And interception number 6, and that secondary today has just absolutely decimated Hales.
I would have preferred that he not do that. There's no need catching a record like that.
Well, we'll take a break in the action here with 13:27 left. Central has the ball again via interception number 6 on the afternoon.
I actually had a very unusual career as a student athlete, having participated in 2 different team sports at 2 different universities. Began my career as a collegiate football player at the University of Utah, where I sustained an injury, and then transferred to San Francisco State University, where I participated in baseball. At the Division II university, it was a university that did not overemphasize the athletic side of the endeavor. I think that became very healthy for me because I had never envisioned being anything but a professional athlete. The things that I went through as a collegiate athlete prepared me better for future life. I encourage young prospective collegiate athletes at this time to think with the future in mind and plan for the days when the athletic career is over.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
The solitude of a freshman quarterback who has just tossed his 6th interception. You notice there's nobody there talking to him.
Well, he's into the record book for all the wrong reasons.
Tough afternoon for that youngster. Tough week of practice coming up. Riley breaks free into the secondary, and the flag went up as he crossed the 40-yard line.
John Kenoy, I think, is going to get called for holding here. He literally appears to tackle somebody.
At 31,468.
Western will accept the penalty. We're told the crowd this afternoon in excess of 31,000. So it doesn't break the all-time record, but it'll be probably in the top 5. Most of them are thinking about heading home a little early.
Some of them have already done so.
Holding against Central.
First down and 18 now for the Chippewas, who dominated this game from start to finish.
Romney has gotten Donnie Riley back into this ball game. I think he wants to get this thing over with.
Bender looks left, throws it over the middle to Kent, who comes up with a beautiful running grab. And Riley, we haven't spoken much about him this afternoon, but we haven't had to because the defense has been the story along with Riley. But just when you start thinking about those guys, Bender steps up and makes the nice throw.
Bender, who is second in the Mid-American Conference in total offense, can throw the football as well as anybody if he has to, but he has the luxury of a Donnie Riley in the backfield, so he's got this kind of balance between run and pass that most offensive coaches look for.
And Bender played last year as a freshman, and he had a few rough outings, so I'm certain that he can sympathize with Mr. Tails. Riley crunches through the right side of the line for about 5 more yards. Jeff Bender is a pre-med chemistry major and has an accumulated average of about 3.7, Reggie. A bright guy and an excellent athlete, and Herb Durramity, I don't think, could ask for a better quarterback.
Shows that leadership ability in that huddle. That's so important in a quarterback. You have to have guys that'll walk down a dark alley with you with nothing in their hands.
Seems to make pretty good selections as far as where he wants to throw the ball. He's tossed only 4 interceptions on the season coming into this one. Looking for Kench on the quick out pattern. Kench gets a pat on the back and shoved out of bounds at about the 42. 13 receptions on the season.
I wonder if Herb Durante is going to give some of his backup people an opportunity to play in this ball game. 31-0. Your football team is peaking, but you also want to be careful about injuries. And injuries do occur at a time like this when people have nothing to lose and there's some frustration going on out there.
Don't forget to stay tuned to Sports Channel for the best in live NHL action tonight at 8:30 in Chicago and St. Louis. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock, Calgary and Philadelphia. Tuesday evening at 7:30, Chicago and the New York Rangers. And then Wednesday night at 7:30, Calgary and the Canadiens. Of course, all of these games aren't available in all areas, so you'll want to make sure you consult your local listings to find out which NHL game you'll be able to tune in this coming week. First and 10 for the Jets. On the action, Bender wrapped up and slammed to the turf, and Sean Mulhern wasn't fooled in any way, shape, or form. You made an interesting point there, Reggie, about resting the troops, maybe doing a little substituting. Last week against Kent State, when Riley rushed for 164, Herb told me yesterday, he said, we watched his number of carries. After 3 quarters, he had like 24 carries. We took him out of the ball game because we wanted to make sure he was ready for this week's game.
It's important, and I think he's had enough work in this ball game, too, but I know what Durante is trying to do. He wants his best guy in there so he can run this clock out, and if you're trying to do that, then certainly Johnny Riley is the man that gets the yardage for you and gets the first down.
Central Michigan trying to even up its record overall of 3-3 on the season.
I don't want to say it, but look at this.
Riley going to check out of the lineup for a while. He's suffered ankle, knee, and hip pointer problems. He's all right, but
I don't think we'll see him again. There would be no reason to.
Darnell Rush in motion. Bender with pressure from the backside makes the throw, but gets hit in the process. And so it'll bring up a 4th down situation.
He had to rush that pass because Swingate was all over him. Pinoy went down that time, number 73.
Kevin Nichols checks into the lineup. A good 10 to 15 mile-an-hour breeze at his back. Let's see, they were spotted at the 44. A 54-yard attempt, and on the season, Nichols is 2 for 2, Reggie, and 50-yard field goal.
A kick like this one will determine how well Nichols is thought of by the NFL scout.
Plenty of leg. And he drills it. A 54-yard field goal for Kevin Nichols, and that's basically the icing on the cake.
I mean, that baby had plenty of room left.
Now, that would have been good from 64 yards. We'll pause now for this timeout. And we'll be back to Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo momentarily. 34-0. Chippewas on top.
Come on, just do it. It's easy, man. Trust me. Yeah, man.
Take some of the pressure off being a kid. Give to the United Way torch drive.
We asked a select group of people how they felt about Kowalski's Sliceables. We made a touchdown. Kowalski in the deli, naturally.
Melfort Toyota is having a gigantic grand opening celebration sale. For 4 days only, buy a new car or truck up to $2,500 under invoice.
I want this grand opening sale to be special to you.
I think higher education is very important. But one of the things I would stress is that a lot of our students never make it to higher education. And one of the things we have to do is begin to work with students early on.
This message furnished by the NC.
With 10:36 left to go in this one, it's Central Michigan 34, Western Michigan nothing.
Travel arranged through Continental, the airline rated best by the Cleveland Business Travelers. Continental, where the commitment to quality is paying off for Cleveland.
Nickel gets plenty of foot into this one as well. Ulrich King catches it on the back line. And Western will start 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. 8 plays, 27 yards, under 3 minutes. Nickel with his longest field goal of the season.
Nickel is the kind of guy that may be a deciding factor for Central Michigan as we start getting to the big ball games where the competition evens up. If the field goal kickers in, he may make a difference.
So he has tremendous experience and obviously is very effective and accurate. A nice guy to have in your corner when you do get into a tough situation. Nightmarish type performance for number 15 this afternoon. Nearly interception number 7 that time.
The one thing that I've noticed today with Tales is that basically he's been high with his throws. Yep. And he's bringing the ball over the top and it's drifting on it, it's floating on it. I don't know if it's a delivery flaw or something like that, but just one of those days where he just can't seem to get the football down.
But when you're throwing it into a breeze as well, that creates problems. The ball hangs up on you. Tipped and nearly intercepted by David Johnson again. Johnson has a pair of picks on the day. He was going for the hat trick there. Johnson's down on the field.
Tails pass intended for Blanco, incomplete.
Herb Duramo does an outstanding job of recruiting in the state of Michigan. Fine football players all across the state. Seems to have a lock on Grand Rapids and Flint. David Johnson, who is being attended to at this point in time, is a young man from Flint Central High School.
And while we've got a moment, we'll head down south now to Oxford, Ohio, and check in with Bob Long and Denison Keller.
We welcome those of you who are watching the live Sports Channel MAC game of the week between Central Michigan and Western Michigan. Here in Oxford, our score right now, Ohio U 9 and Miami 7, with about 13 minutes left in the third quarter. That play goes for about a 5-yard loss as Jack Leader and Bill Garrett come up to fill the fullback Thornton that time, or Poynton rather. And we now send you back to Kalamazoo with Denny Schreiner and Reggie Rucker.
Welcome back to Kalamazoo. Ball game down in Oxford. Pressure is on. Tails gets it away though. Ulrich King, the big play guy, cuts it back up, makes a hurdle move, and finally gets tackled at about the 40-yard line. That was some action there for number 2, huh?
He's an exciting player. Very good in the open field. He has good reflexes. You saw last time he made that behind-the-back catch. Here's just a crossing pattern, and Ulrich King right now is going to do something I probably wouldn't do. When you're only 160 pounds, go airborne.
No, not when there's people in the neighborhood. And they have the wrong color jerseys on. First down, though. Tails drills this pass incomplete off the shoulder pass of LaBelle Horn.
And that's a situation where Tails has to learn that you don't drill that. That just requires a little touch. Just lead the receiver into the ball, let him catch it and run with it.
A breakdown of the interception this afternoon. Curtis, the only one that isn't a secondary player. This Curtis, one of the starting inside linebackers. Secondary has got a field day here today. Out of the pocket. Makes the throw. Williams comes up with a catch inside the 45 at the 43-yard line. Excellent protection that time once Tails left the pocket.
Well, Central is dropping more people now in coverage because they just want to get into prevent defenses and try to preserve the shutout. When you get that kind of defense, there are a lot of lanes in there, and Williams found one. Tails got it to him.
Draw play. Bogan has some running room. Breaks one tackle. Spins inside the 30 to about the 29.
You know, quarterbacks to be successful in football have to have short memories. They can't afford to be able to dwell on things that happen. But this is the kind of football game I'm afraid that no matter what kind of success Tails has here at Western Michigan, he's going to be able to look back and say, man, I remember the day against Central I threw 6 interceptions.
That's when you want a quick case of that amnesia.
Convenient amnesia. Ohio State coming back.
Yep. Scores from around the league. Toledo and BG are still wrapped up in a tight ball game. Boy, when those two schools go at each other, I don't care if it's in BG or at Toledo, it's a slugfest.
I bet their crowd rivals this one for them.
What was it? I read a story or a couple of tips, I think, from Alan Chamberlain, the sports information director at the home office in Toledo, where whether it would be Toledo or BG, whoever went to the opposing field, it'd been like 10 years since the visitors had scored touchdowns. I mean, it was tough going. But obviously, the visitors, Toledo, they put at least one on the board this afternoon. I mean, when you come into their place, don't even think about it. Home field advantage. It has not been an advantage here today, Mr. Rucker.
No.
They have been soundly outplayed by Central Michigan. Take toss. Over the middle. All alone. And found fumble. Ball squirts loose, and don't tell me. Central Michigan has the football. Finally trying to unstack people. Western hangs on to the football.
Well, they're calling it Western football. Bruce Boyko makes the catch here. Well, I tell you what, that's a fumble. That's a gift for Western. That's one of the few they've had today.
Chippewa is trying to hang on to their shutout, but Western Michigan trying to get that goose egg off the board. Better late than never. Tails looks right, comes back to the left. Nice catch on the goal line. Not quite in for the score. Very close. Coakley had it right about the 1-foot line, and that's where they're going to down the football.
You know, they're defending that goal line against Western like Western stole something from them. They just don't want to give up a score. What a lot of pride there is in the Central Michigan team. I mean, you would figure, oh, come on, let them score. But these guys are really, watch how seriously they play defense down here.
Shut out Kent State a week ago and kept the Broncos out with 7:55 left to go. And this one, Tails over the top, and he scores. So for Brad Tails,
that's close.
A bright spot this afternoon in an otherwise dismal day.
Maybe it's only fitting that Tails carries the ball for the touchdown himself, because it's been such a tough day. And, of course, it hasn't been all his doing. He's had people drop balls on him. Trection hasn't been there at times. And you see him right now. He's the guy that at least averts the shutout for Western.
Broncos will more than likely go for 2. Coach Mulvey looking on. You might call him the stoic. There you go.
Oh, Mulvey.
That's not a V for victory. That's 2 for the 2-point try. From the left hash mark. Look for Tails to roll a little right. As I say that, they pitch it to the short side of the field. Bogan gets trapped at about the 1-yard line. So Central Michigan shuts down the 2-point conversion. And leads handily in this one, 34-6. Suspect we might see an onside kick.
No question about it. If they went for 2, they ought to go for the onside.
Yeah. Very surprising day here. I knew that Western Michigan was young on offense, but their skill level was very high. Coming in, I thought as well as they spread the ball and get it around, they would provide some problems for Central Michigan defensively, but Chippewas have been there almost before Western ran the play.
Central appeared to have just the perfect game plan. They came out and they started putting pressure on Tails to begin with, They confused him. They created a lot of indecision in the freshman quarterback. They got him off to a rough start, and Tales never recovered.
And now we'll check in with Michael Regai on the sideline.
Yeah, Denny and Reggie, you know, a lot of times it's not just football players who come up with war wounds in this game of college football. This is Bob Silver. He's from Plymouth, Michigan. He should be wearing this stripe of this officiating crew today. Bob, you're not in action. Why not?
Well, last week against Toledo and Eastern, I got hit playing umpire in the middle, and it tore out the posterior cruciate ligament on my knee.
So what?
For about 3 weeks.
We'll say that again.
Wasn't a very pleasant hit.
The posterior cruciate ligament in that knee.
Yeah, the inside of my knee.
And that means that you've got a couple weeks on the DL, actually, correct?
That's right. Well, I'm hoping to get back, get with my guys.
All right, Bob. You're lending the moral support, though. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
So there you see it, Denny and Reggie. I mean, you got to be tough. And when you wear the zebra stripe, you got to be ready to bang and bump, too. Otherwise, you wind up on the DL like Bob Silver.
Hey, Michael.
Yes.
Being a guy who has had knee surgery, I think he means the cruciate.
Cruciate. Yeah. Okay.
Not the crucible.
You're the scholar of the bunch. You're the man that knows that stuff.
Thank you so much for that report, Dr. Regai. Would you like to continue to elaborate on the operation, Mr. Rucker?
No, I had 5.
Okay. You had 5 knee operations?
Yeah. I'll go through that one day with you.
Wow.
No, not 5, knees.
You had 5 operations? Yeah. Well, maybe we can chat on the flight home. New quarterback for Central Michigan, and why not? Bender is done for the afternoon and did a superb job. And so Randy Levels, a senior out of Flint Central, will take over the controls. And this is a position for a backup quarterback where at least you get a little playing time, but you got to stay sharp and ready just in case something happens to the number 1.
Yeah, we moved that offensive line a bit, too, so I think he's rewarded that offensive unit with a job well done because they played extremely well. So did the defense. So did the kicking game. You couldn't ask for a better performance from a football team than Herb Duramedes got from Central Michigan today.
Basically, you could probably say in a phrase that the entire team earned it.
Yeah. That's it. They earned it.
Attaboy. Next week at Rynearson Stadium, 12:30 Eastern Time. Eastern Michigan and Bowling Green. Sports Channel NAC Game of the Week. Right back up the gut it goes, very close to a first down. Let's hope we have weather like this week at Ypsilanti. There's a look at the rest of the schedule. Eastern Michigan at Central Michigan.
The procedure on the offense. Repeat third down.
That could be a test of the number 1 and number 2 teams in the conference at that stage. Of course, don't count out Ball State. Cardinals have been playing excellent. They get a chance to play at home.
The reason why this Bowling Green Eastern Michigan match is a good one because the Bowling Green team has a lot of speed in the receivers, and I don't think that Eastern Michigan is that quick a foot in the secondary.
Enough for the first down. Darnell Rush cut back. Darnell Rush is on the move and finally chased out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
You can only guess what might have happened here had Donnie Riley been in the ball game.
He might still be running.
Yeah.
A lopsided day. Never in the world would I have expected this one. Happens sometimes, though, on Saturday afternoon. That's what's so unique about college football. You never really know what's going to happen. Darnell will obviously be the heir apparent to that tailback position because Riley is a senior. Darnell out of Detroit, 5'10", 180-pound sophomore.
It'll be interesting to see what the professional people think about Donnie Riley. I have some opinions, but I think he's playing well in his career here at Central Michigan. And the thing I'd like to see is what his actual 40-yard time is and if he can get bigger.
Back again. Rush continues to turn out the yardage close to a first down.
I'll tell you something. Right now, he has first-rate running ability. He's an outstanding reader of the hole, and makes great moves inside, and appears to be strong enough to take a lot of punishment.
Well, in the tailback position, you don't run it 25, 26, 27 times a game when people know you're coming if you can't take some of those hits. Plenty of substitutions as well defensively for Al Moldy's bunch. The team is really still in the growing process. Very young team overall. You think that Herb Duramity would be very pleased with the performance of his team overall here on the road this afternoon.
I think coming in here, Duramity had to be very skeptical about what would take place because he knew there was going to be a big crowd. He knew that Western was a dangerous football team, and they also had designs on the Mid-American Conference Championship. And the team that lost today probably is going to be out of the running for the championship. So I think this was more than he ever thought he would get here. Much more.
First down and 10.
Those people aren't smiling.
No. Hey, there's nothing worse than a homecoming game in front of a sellout crowd, and the air gets blown out of the balloon early on, and it just never got any better. Chippewa has made certain of that. On the option, level pitches the rush. Gets to the corner, slips and slides inside the 45 to the 43. Level's obviously the better runner of the two quarterbacks. And it's nice if you're Herb Duramity to give some guys who practice hard every week a chance to get out there in a big ball game and prove their worth.
That's important, too, because when you're recruiting and young people are coming in, they want to see that there's an opportunity to play. No one wants to come into a program and just sit, work hard all week and never get that opportunity to display skills in a game.
Another of the long list of running backs, Eric Plate of Brooklyn. Football a little bit.
Well, this is where if you're an offense and the quarterback is responsible for just using up that clock. There shouldn't be any hurry to get to the line of scrimmage, use every minute of the clock because Western at this point wants to get out of there.
34-6, Central Michigan on top. Plate bobbled the pitch. And then paid dearly for that moment of indecision. We'll bring up a fourth down play, very close to the first down.
It's amazing how fast people can get out of the stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, frustrating day. We were really excited about this matchup. I thought it was going to be one of those afternoons where it might go down to the final series. And two very explosive teams.
Classic passing team versus rushing team. And great defensive personnel.
Our crew did an outstanding job today. They enjoy these games when they're basking in the sunshine as well. I'm sure a little later on in the season they'll have to put up with the snow flurries. Don't think we got back to the line of scrimmage, let alone got the first down.
Well, those guys in our crew will be happy to know that we have a sandwich for them all. We're going to pay them with sandwiches.
Yeah, they'll be excited about that.
It's going to be a good bus ride back to Mount Pleasant for the Chippewas.
About, 2 hours and 15, 2 hours and 20 minute drive. And yeah, they'll be hooping it up all the way back.
And we talked about this at the beginning of the program. You know, this is an important ball game because bragging rights in this part of the state for recruits, that's an important part of keeping the continuity of a franchise.
And now we'll take a break here in the action with 2:33 left to go in this one. 34-6, Central Michigan en route to winning here in Kalamazoo.
You might have the impression that you can use drugs and alcohol and still be at your best. In fact, some people claim that drugs and alcohol help them perform better in sports, at school, or at work. Well, you can see where those people end up, hooked and helpless. They destroy their own hard work. Drugs and alcohol don't pave the way to success. They're nothing but a dead end.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
Good things are happening at Western Michigan University.
We're recognized as one of the state's leading graduate universities. Faculty research has more than doubled. Western is investing in major new construction and renovation on campus. And we're forming partnerships with business and industry across the state.
We're Western Michigan University, helping to shape Michigan's future.
A 1988 bronze medalist and, of course, the 14th overall selection in the 1988 NBA draft, Central Michigan's Dan Marley, and what an outstanding performer he was for the Chippewas. I'll also give a pat on the back to our spotter, Lewis Bagley, here this afternoon. Couldn't have operated without him. Over the middle, ball tipped, falls incomplete. I said that a few times this afternoon, Reggie Rucker.
Yeah, I just think that at this point you get out of this football game. Western Michigan is still attempting to throw the football, and I'd hate to see interception number 7.
6 is way too many.
That ball is bouncing, still bouncing up in the air.
I'll tell you what, don't think those second stringers in that secondary for Central Michigan aren't looking to take one of those all the way.
They want him to throw because they could break a school record with interception number 7.
Looking for it. Pressure. Dale keeps looking. Fires this one incomplete at about midfield. Don't forget to stay tuned to the Sports Channel following today's game for more MAC action as the Bobcats of Ohio University take on the Redskins of Miami University. The game is not available in all areas, so check your local listings, and the game will be seen in its entirety. And boy, they've got a very close game going on right now in Oxford. The last score we had was 9-7, Ohio University on top of Miami. Both of those teams looking for their initial MAC victories of the season. 3rd 10. Dale, gets big-time pressure. Tries to get it out to his running back. That doesn't work. So it brings up 4th 10.
Like Kapler all over Dale, number 91. And number 90, Kurt Pauly.
Western out to kick it away, and that's their final possession in this one. A 39-yard field goal provided by Kevin Nickel opened up the scoring. Johnny Riley with a couple of 7-yard touchdown runs, a 68-yard Tench to Kenny Ely touchdown pass. Marchetti with an interception return of 68 yards for a touchdown. And a big day for Central Michigan. Low snap and one high. L.J. Muddy tries to take advantage and gets bumped out of bounds at the 27. Pretty much can close the book on this one. A dominating victory for Central Michigan, and they'll head back to Mount Pleasant 3-3, but 3-1 in the Mid-American Conference.
And of course, looking forward to 2 weeks from now. We are. Oh, yeah. We don't know what's going to happen next week, obviously, but I think we're going to have just a marquee kind of a ball game for you in Central Michigan.
Next week with Hurd and Thornton, PG receivers. I mean, they are really something. Eric Plate out near the 40-yard line, and now we've got a flag being tossed, a little extracurricular activity after the play is over. Look at the folks that are involved in putting together the telecast, and what a marvelous job they do. Our technical crew. No turnovers for them today. Personal foul being called against someone
foul on the
defensive side of the football.
First down.
Play up in Mount Pleasant, and the rivalry will continue. Herb Duramity is now 10-1-1 against Western Michigan during his tenure.
When did he lose the one game? last year when Western had the great talent. Yep. Well, the formula, I think Duramety's formula has been one that has worked, but so has Al Mulvey. The guys have different philosophies. One guy likes to throw the football, one likes to run it, but basically they both had good defensive teams.
Plates things inside, keeps the legs turning inside the 35-yard line.
Well, there's a flag on every play now, and this is the part of a football game I think that gets ugly. That's why I think when you play the 34-0 or 34-6, basically you just get out of here.
Dead ball, personal foul over here. Dead ball, personal foul over here. Eject.
Get them out of there if they aren't going to play the right way. That's the call by the official. So a couple of players have been excused in this one. I hate to see that happen. L.J. Muddy, number 19 for Central, and number 21, Steve Mooney for Western. Both asked to leave. Well, Mooney can't be any more upset than he is already. He's been embarrassed by Central Michigan, and of course, the frustration is showing. Yeah, they take it real personal. Almost as much as the two guys down the road going in today, Michigan and Michigan State. Good point there. This is probably the second best rivalry interstate-wise in the state of Michigan, without question. Here's Duramety, too. If you look at his record against other teams in Michigan, I think, memory serves me correctly, he is 23-2-2 when playing other teams in the state of Michigan. And of course, he is a disciple of Coach Campbell. No wonder he likes to run. Likes that I formation.
Fine, as long as you run effectively.
And you get the right players to run it for you. That's key.
And this one has gone into the books, as they say. The final score, Central Michigan 34, Western Michigan 6. And we'll pause now for this timeout.
Pretty easy. Kevin, what are your thoughts when you come on the field for a last-second game-winning interview?